What's happening, YouTube? Spectre here. You join me in rush hour traffic, such as it is in rural Cornwall. Yeah, it's another sunny afternoon, evening. We're heading down after work. You know what that means? Bike night, and we're taking another one off our little list. So the first time bike night for me. This is Chequered Flag, the popular cafe slash shop slash workshop on the A38. So Chequered Flag I've been to many times at this point. It's a nice little destination. First time going to their bike night, so we're going to see how that is. Weather's good, so it should be a good turnout. Looks like there were decent numbers on the old Facebook. I invited a couple of mates along. I don't know if they're going to make it, but we'll see. Nice late indicator there, pal. Hopefully I'll have some mates there, but if not, sure we'll find some people to chat to. It's a Wednesday at time of filming. The Chequered Flag nights are every 2 weeks, which is actually quite nice for me because I'm sort of equidistant between Chequered Flag and Bude. So Bude runs every Wednesday, so throughout the summer I can alternate between Bude and Chequered Flag if I'm enjoying Chequered Flag as well. Both are easy to get to, both are quite nice routes. This is, you know, you've seen this route a bunch of times. This is my normal route down across the bottom end of Bobbin Moor. The difference is where I normally turn right at one of the villages coming up and go across via like Minions. This time we're going straight on and we're coming down into the top end of Liskeard and then dipping through that. And Chequered Flag itself, if you didn't see my last video of Chequered Flag itself is on the A38, literally in a, I think it's a former motorway services probably, I would have thought. Bit of an interesting location. You do have to enter the car park at 70, which is not ideal, and again exit sort of flat out. So Chequered Flag is a lovely little cafe. It's been around for a few years now, not crazy old, but it's established at least, and it's very much built as a biker cafe from the start. So you've got TVs in there showing motorcycle videos. You can also, they're perfectly fine with you plugging your own stuff in. Not that I ever would, but if you're leading a group perhaps, or doing some sort of ride out or group ride or group meetup or whatever, you can stick your helmet cam, SD cards or whatever in and watch back your footage. Always be fun. And the cafe is the first section, and then the middle you've got a clothing section. This used to be part of the cafe, used to be the same room. I preferred it when it was, to be honest. It made the room seem bigger. They used to sell bikes in there. You could sit at your table eating your burgers and sort of ogle the bikes they had for sale. But they've separated that off now, so the cafe's got its own section, and then the clothing section, it sells both new and used clothing. It's only small, but you know, it's got a nice little range of random second-hand bits, which is quite nice if you're trying to get something a little bit different, something that's not so readily available on the shelves now, but you can get some sort of slightly older, slightly more well-loved jackets and that sort of thing. They also sell odds and ends, you know, bits of accessories, generic universal accessories. That's a badger. Oh, poor thing. They sell various like lubricants like chain lube and chain cleaner and ACF 50, all of that sort of stuff. So you can pick up your little bits and pieces there. I actually picked up some chain wax recently from them just because I needed some, and I thought it'd be nice to support their little business rather than just getting it online at Amazon. And then the third section is, it's a kind of community workshop. I think there's one mechanic there, and he does normal mechanic stuff. You can take your bike and just book your bike in with him and do stuff. But I believe the idea is you can take your own bike in and borrow tools and sort of work on your stuff with a little bit of guidance and stuff like that. I don't know the specifics. I've actually not tried it myself, but it's a great idea. It makes Chequered Flag this one-stop shop of food and clothing and bike stuff all in one. You can kind of get a bunch of stuff done and then head off again. As I said, I've not been to the bike night before, so I don't really know what the vibe would be like, but they're all broadly the same, aren't they? A bunch of people standing around, and you just sort of walk up to people's conversations and stand next to them, and then sort of jut in when there's a gap, which in any other setting would be deeply rude. I mean, if you're at a bus stop and you just strolled over and just joined into someone's convo, people would look at you like you're an absolute weirdo. But it's fairly commonplace on bike meets and stuff, particularly if you're there by yourself, because obviously you need to make friends and make conversation there, otherwise you'd just be walking around by yourself the whole time. Interesting vibe, but fun. This place is cool. It's like a lorry, I think it's an active lorry leaf. So they've got like old buses there, there's old cars as well. There's all sorts, so there's cars behind those lorries at the end. You can see them on Google, the satellite view. But it seems to be, it still acts like a sort of, I don't know, truck workshop or something. Quite how they get truck cabs and buses down these roads, I don't quite know. It's funny the weird little businesses you find out in the sticks. I kind of wish it was a bit more abandoned than it is, because I quite like to go and have a nose around the old buses and the old cars and, you know, scope out if any are worth saving. Always looking for savable vehicles, like abandoned cars and abandoned bikes and all the rest of that. I've got no mechanical skills to fix them and no money to fix them. I don't have a great deal of space to fix them, but none of that's all that important. That's the dream though. I was saying to a colleague the other day, I'd sent him a short film called I think it's Preservere on YouTube. It's on Vimeo and places like that as well. It's following a guy called Oh, what's his first name? Maybe Michael? Might be pulling that out of my ass. His surname's Keating though. Keating Wheel Company. One of the sort of semi-artsy short film type videos. Just following this dude, like interviewing him. He just repairs bikes. He gets all these old bikes, saves and pulls them out of barns in America, so you can buy bikes for like, you know, 20 pence. And he pulls these bikes out of places, fixes them up, and then doesn't restore them. He just gets them mechanically good and then sells them on. Finally. It's a great video. I'll actually link it below. Or above me. I may stick on a card to watch after this video before everyone leaves. It's a nice vibe. He's got a really calming demeanor, and he's, you know, just an older guy who's been doing it for his life. That's the dream, surely. I don't really have dreams per se. More on that coming up. There's a video I've actually already filmed about that, which will be live at some point when it gets through the rotation. If I won the lottery at some point, I won a huge amount of money, and I didn't have to worry about working. I just had to sort of find something to do with my time for the rest of my life. Buying old bikes, fixing them up, learning to fix them up, selling them on, having a little business that makes no money at all, but it's a hobby that just takes over, pays for itself. Something to do all day and keep you busy, and also keep some money turning over, but mainly just for the love of the bikes and the joy of taking these broken vehicles and giving them a second life and putting them back out into the world. I think that'll be immensely rewarding. Yeah, if anyone's got a spare mil or a spare lottery win and you want to just chuck it my way, that would be very much appreciated. I'll be sure to give you a bike. Gorgeous spot, this one. I'll come back this way as well. Some nice viewpoints along here. Yeah, I mean, like this, look, big open field. We're looking out over sort of South Cornwall here. This guard to be coming up on our left over there. Stunning, isn't it? Like, it's absolutely beautiful down here. Sheep out, hanging there, having a good time, hanging out. Yeah, we're almost there now. We're heading down through Liskeard. We just dip into the top of Liskeard. We don't go through the city centre, luckily, because obviously going after work, we are going through everyone going home from work in rush hour and stuff, so don't want to get too caught up in the commuters. And there is a train station at Liskeard, so for all that it's small, it does get a bit of traffic through it. Not going behind you, and that's why. Just a whiff of cannabis wafting across there. Oh, Liskeard never changes. Yeah, we're almost there now, so we're going to jump onto the dual carriage we just here. We have to go past Chequered Flag because they're on the other side, and then we come back on ourselves, and let's get it. Why are you out here? Yeah, that's what I thought. Good turnout already by the looks of it, which is nice to see. We are actually quite early. We're arriving at, oh, I suppose, 5:45. Technically the event starts at 6. Now when it's quiet you can do just a full UE here. There's no signs against it, which is nice. But when it's a bit busy you don't always get the gap for that, so I'll probably turn right into there, tuck up into the side, and then loop around, use that as the turning. Although, nailed it. Lucky there, and here we go. Standard. Right, well, let's hop off the bike and go enjoy ourselves. See if we can get some food as well. Right, well, that was Chequered Flag. Ah, cold engine life. Yeah, that was, we closed? Yeah, that was us. That was Chequered Flag Bike Night. pretty quiet. I've stayed there for about an hour and a half. Heading off now. Bent me mirror there from having the helmet on top of it, which is why I generally don't do that. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. We had a few little like peaks of busyness when people rode in groups. Some of the clubs came through and stuff, but generally pretty dead. It's a nice spot still, if you can deal with like the motorway noises and stuff. It's a nice spot, and I got chatting to a really lovely guy actually there. What was his name? He told me 5 minutes. Joe, was it? I think it was Joe. He was, I can tell you he was riding a Husky 650, which isn't much use. Joe left, and I was kind of sat by myself, so I was like, fuck it, let's just head off. And I wanted to ride home in the daylight anyway. A bit of filming I want to do and stuff, so I will go back at one of the later ones, see if it picks a bit more the further we get into the season. It is nice and sunny, but it is quite cold. It's colder than it looks, so that might be putting people off. But yeah, I had a good time anyway. Got a nice burger. You know, I'm slowly ticking off my bike nights now, getting the full set on this side of Cornwall at least. I'm not going too far, particularly in the evenings when it's like an after work one. I don't want to be going, you know, hours and hours. So we've done Bude a few times now, we've done Damarels once, chapter 1, and now we've done Chequered Flag as well. I'd like to do Project 83 soon. We'll Bearded Brewer at some point. Yeah, there's still some more to do. Unfortunately my friends couldn't make it tonight. One of them stuck in work, and I assume the other one is too. I've not heard from him, but I know he's done like 25 hours over 2 days or something stupid over the start of this week, so I imagine he's still either working or just dying somewhere from not working. But yeah, it's like, you know, it's quite a small meet. Like you think about Bude is actually quite a busy one. There's quite a lot of bikes there even when I get there. A little bit disappointing in the Chequered Flag, but we're early in the season still. We're early in the weather. And Chequered Flag itself, I've no complaints to Chequered Flag. They do good really. And the gentleman behind the counter, I didn't get his name, but I believe he's the son of the owner, or he's part owner with his dad. He's lovely. He's really, really friendly, really good quality customer service and all that. So not knocking the calf at all. And the one advantage, of course, of it being on a dual carriageway in the middle of nowhere is that you can be quite loud, and there's no one around to piss off. Like a lot of these venues, they're having to deal with neighbours and people. Country lanes don't want to have loads of bikes roaring up and down them. If they're in an anyway built up area, there's always someone around to piss off. But this place, like, you're on a dual carriageway with no buildings around and the constant noise of the dual carriageway, so you can be as loud as you want and there is no one to offend. And they even have a sign that you go out saying, please don't leave quietly, please make some noise. And people do, people get rev bombs and all sorts and they're setting off. So I think some of the guys are even encouraged. There were a bunch of 125s earlier. About 90% of them had fart cannons on the back, just, you know, the old Pringle tubes. Bless them. Which I never did. That was never me. I had, well, okay, actually, it was never me on 125s. My my Gilera, my scooter when I was 16, Gilera Runner 50 SP. That thing was an absolute scrote fest. That thing was proper hairdryer, like noisy, loud, slow. You had to rev the absolute tits off it everywhere because it was quite quick. It was actually de-restricted when it shouldn't have been, but shush. But it had no torque at all, so you had to take every hill flat out and everywhere just bloody awful sound, but it was good fun. Well, yeah, we're just going to cruise along home. I've got one stop I want to make just up here. Before I sign off for the end of this video, there is just one little thing left. Actually, I'll pull in here, enjoy the sunset. Yeah, one little thing left just to wrap up before I let you all go. What's happening, YouTube? Spectre here. Again, filming this for the second time. Yeah, didn't see this one coming, did you? Neither did I, frankly. I didn't intend to do this at any point. I enjoyed the anonymity behind the helmet, and I intended to keep my channel like that for the time being, really, indefinitely. But the thing is, now I'm being a bit more sociable as a biker, going to all these bike meets, going to ride outs, going to events like that. It's harder and harder to stay faceless because, you know, the events take photos themselves. You're always in the background of someone's photo or video or whatever. So yeah, here we are. Now, the good news about this is it does open up a bunch of new content that wasn't available to me before. It means I can now do piece to cameras. I can film when I get to locations more easily. I can film stuff working on bikes, bike maintenance, bike builds in the future. So there are benefits to this, certainly. I'm not going to pretend to be comfortable in front of the camera, and you're not going to see this in every video, but here I am. You're still not getting a name or anything else or any personal details, but you will occasionally get this ugly mug. I understand if you unsubscribe. You know, it's a weird one. Back in the day, like, so I've been around motovlogging since the beginning, really, and back in the day it was very common to be faceless. You stay behind the helmet and it was all just forward-facing content back then. Times have moved on though, and with the addition of more variety of cameras, it's become more normal for people to be in front of the camera, sort of presenting, as it were. The old faceless style is only really reserved for short format now, and long format content is all creators. But I move with the times, and as much as I'm not mad keen about it, it is at least one less thing to worry about. So with that said, for the second time, thanks camera, I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you very much for watching, as always, and I will see you in the next video. Ride safe.